Thank you for volunteering as an escort driver for the Cairns to Karumba bike ride. Today our presentation is going to cover some topics on the importance of being an escort driver and the reasons why we need escort vehicles on the road ride from Cairns to Karumba. Some of the things we're going to cover in the presentation today is vehicle setups, what the minimum requirement is going to be for your vehicle, a bit of information on radio etiquette, how to make and take calls on the UHF channel 40, the roles of the front and rear escort drivers, a little bit of information about getting to know your pack leaders, that's the cycling pack leader, a bit of information about the actual long drive across from Cairns to Karumba, because at the speed you'll be driving it will be a long drive. Starting and stopping the packs when they're required, and the start and the end of each day's ride. The reason for having escorts on the pack ride is to protect the road riders. Typically we ride with 6 packs of cyclists all the way from Cairns to Karumba, and we need a front and rear escort vehicle to make the trip across from Cairns to Karumba safer for each of those packs. The front and rear escort driving vehicles will contain UHF radios, which we'll set to channel 40, and they need to be checked every day to make sure that you're communicating with each other and also the ride pack leaders.
Pack 6 lead to Pack 6 rear, do you copy?
Pack 6 rear, ready to roll out.
The front and rear escort vehicles positioning, we will look at some further video on the positioning of the front and rear escort vehicles in relation to the pack. Your main role is to keep the pack together so that other vehicles, when they pass our packs, do not merge into the packs of cyclists. This is one of the biggest safety aspects that we need to cover. The communications with the radio, again, it will show some further demonstration of pack riding and the radio etiquette, how to use the two-way radio, what sort of call signs are required between the front and the rear escort vehicles and the pack leader or leaders.
Pack 6 lead to Pack 6 rear, do you copy?
Pack 6 rear, ready to roll out.
Pack 6 lead, this is Pack 6 team leader. Pack is ready to roll.
Radio team leader, Pack 6 rolling.
Roger. Pack 6 rear, Pack 6 front.
Go ahead.
We've got vehicles coming behind.
Right, we'll go around the corner and check. Pack 6 rear, Pack 6 lead, door clear to let it send them around.
Roger that. Pack 6 front, road train approaching.
Roger.
They're speeding up, I'm going to stretch out a little bit.
Rear Pack 6 to front Pack 6 escort, can you slow the front of the pack down? Pack's starting to stretch out a bit too much.
Yeah, copy that, slowing down.
One of the most important things is the vehicle setup before we even leave. On the briefing day, before we actually depart on the ride, you'll be given a flashing light which will need to be installed on your vehicle on the day before departure, and signage to advise, which will put on the front windscreen or the rear of your vehicle, advising which pack you're escorting, whether you're a front or a rear escort vehicle. There will also be some fluoro signage indicating that your vehicle is involved in a charity cycle ride, and that also needs to be securely put on your front or rear of the vehicle. If you're a front escort driver and you have signage on the front, be aware where you attach the signage that it doesn't block the airflow into your vehicle. Flashing light, fairly obvious, plugs into the cigarette lighter, turn it on before you form up in front of your pack. The stickers typically go on the front or rear windows of your vehicle. You will also be issued with a radio every morning, and that radio, UHF radio, has to go back to the person looking after them each night to ensure they're charged up again for the next day. While we're talking about radios, the typical radio etiquette will need to be followed along the way. First thing that everyone does in the morning before you ride out on your pack is communicate with each other. Typically radio check, rear escort pack 6 to front pack 6, radio check, and ensure that person is heard, and you confirm that radio call with the front escort driver as well as the pack escort leader. Each time you make a radio call, it is best to identify yourself as rear pack 6 to pack 6 leader, and that way the cycling pack leader knows you are trying to communicate with him. Always ensure that you press the button on the microphone before you speak and release well after you've spoken. Additional things with the radio communications, particularly from front vehicle to rear vehicle and vice versa. Rear vehicle always needs to let the front vehicle know that there is traffic banking up, and to request that at the first opportunity the front vehicle advises the rear that the road ahead is clear, and at the same time being sure that you keep your minimum distances from the cycling pack so no vehicles passing enter into the pack. That is our most dangerous situation to have. The typical calls would be from pack 6 rear to pack 6 front. Please advise as soon as you possibly can if the road ahead is clear, and then the front driver may have to drive over some hills or round the corner and then call back. Pack 6 front escort to rear 6 escort, road ahead is clear, send those vehicles around. And you confirm that you've received that radio call and wave the vehicles around, and usually you get some toots from people and give them a good wave because they know we're on a charity ride. On the briefing day, we will introduce you to as many of the ride pack leaders as we possibly can, so that you also know not only who your front escort and rear escort drivers are, so you can get to know each other by name, but also the cycling pack leader as well. And this straight away, you form those bonds with each other so you know who you're talking to all the way. You're going to be doing it for 7 days, so it's good to make those friends straight away. The drive from Cairns to Karumba over 7 days, you'll be driving for anywhere up to 8 hours a day. Pack 6 being the slowest, typically 20 kilometres an hour average, which means you'll go down to 50 and sometimes down to 15, sometimes up to 25 kilometres an hour, all the way to Karumba. Pack 1, however, average speed 32 kilometres an hour all day, which means you can go up sometimes up to 40 and even 45, 50 kilometres an hour, but down to 25. So it is a long day driving. It does take a lot of concentration. Always good to start the day with a good strong coffee and keep your fluids up. Make sure you've got nibblies in the car for along the way. When you're in the car and driving those long distances, as an escort driver, it is a good idea to not have CDs and music playing, because your very important role is to make sure you have the clear and open lines of communication on the radio. Two of the main signals that we give the cyclists so they know traffic is passing is a long beep if it's a truck passing and we need to get the pack off the road. This long sound on the horn needs to be given in plenty of time for the pack to hear it and get time to get the whole pack of cyclists off the road, and you form in behind them when they come to a standstill, and the front escort driver obviously stays in front of the pack. Usually the pack comes to a complete stop off the side of the road, dismount off the bikes, truck comes past, get a nice friendly toot, and then once the rear escort driver realises the road is clear behind and communicates again, then you will start the pack rolling. The other beep that we do is a short beep beep for the pack so they know vehicles are about to pass. This is not for the pack to get off the road but to continue riding normally. It's just to give them a heads up that vehicles are travelling around us, and this would be on a dual lane piece of road, typically where there is plenty of passing space and you can see well ahead that there is space for the vehicles to pass from behind. So a friendly toot toot on your horn to let the cycle pack know that there's vehicles passing. Starting the pack, typically the pack leader will advise the front and rear escort that pack 6, everyone's on board, ready to roll. Pack 6 rolling, and the cyclists start to ride out. The front escort driver will have already started moving and rear escort start to follow behind, typically no more than 20 metres behind the last rider. While you're travelling along behind the packs as a rear escort driver, from time to time a rider may get tired or may have a mechanical problem. We sometimes do have some incidences and crashes along the way. You will need to, your vehicle should be set up for carrying some amount of cyclists and bicycles themselves, and you would need to quickly attend to possibly a cyclist stopping because of a flat tyre, a mechanical issue, or just being tired. And then once you've put that person in the car, always radio ahead that you're stopping to pick someone up so that the front escort vehicle knows that you're stopping, and then you would then quickly pick that person up and carry on up to the pack to your usual position. That cyclist then may have a rest or be able to fix the bike at the next water stop, and they would continue on with the rest of the pack. So starting and stopping is fairly straightforward. A lot of it is again a communication across the radio. At the end of the day, ensure your vehicle, if you've got water on board, make sure the water tanks are topped up for the next day. Turn your flashing light off, turn your radio off and return it to the person responsible for the charging of the radios overnight. A further situation that may occur is if we have a serious incident along the way with your pack. The rear escort vehicle is likely to be the first person alerted of the incident, whether it's a cyclist who has had an incident or anyone else for that matter on the road. We may need to call up to our emergency services. We have an ambulance following us all the way to Karumba, and as I said earlier, we have a police escort vehicle all the way. The rear escort vehicle typically would stop at the scene of the incident and attend as best as possible and do whatever traffic control is necessary. You also need to straight away alert the front pack driver of the incident so he can stop the pack, and also then the front escort driver would be responsible for radioing to our emergency services. Typically you would respond on the radio by calling up our police escort driver, who may also then, and you must stop and make sure that that message has been communicated right through to the police or the ambulance. Stay in your vehicle. The front escort driver would stay in their vehicle until the relay has come back from either the police or another driver stating that the communications has been received and they are coming to the scene of the incident.
Pack 6 front rear, there's been an accident in the pack.
Can you repeat that please, Pack 6 leader?
There has been an accident in the pack. We have a cyclist down.
Copy that. Pack 6 rear to Pack 6 front. Can you radio ahead to emergency services please?
Yeah, copy that, Pack 6 rear. Dibble and ambulance, this is Pack 6 lead. We have rider down, require your assistance at Ruth Street, over.
Again, thank you very much for becoming an escort driver for the Cairns to Karumba bike ride. Even though this component of the ride is the serious component where we need the escort drivers, like I say, for the safety of all the cyclists, we would sincerely like to thank you for becoming an escort driver. It is a serious experience, however the overall ride is a really great fun experience. You're going to meet a lot of very, very friendly, positive people and see some beautiful countryside at a very slow pace. Again, thank you.